Now, as a general rule of thumb, as far as men getting into relationships is concerned, or marriages, there are key things that men need to understand that you need to generally outdo your woman in these specific areas of life and specific qualities. Things like wisdom, areas of your life like finances and experience, areas of your life like or other aspects of yourself like the sexual energy. All these things are things you're gonna need to outdo your woman as a matter of necessity. Let's start with the first one, wisdom and intelligence. Well, you're the one who's going to be leading the relationship. And as such, you need to be more wise, or to be wiser, you need to be wiser and more intelligent than your woman as far as that dynamic is concerned, because you're the one who's going to be leading the relationship. You're the one who's going to be the logical one of the relationship. As it is always, it's always on the men's side. So, that being said, it's required upon you to be wise and to be intelligent. If your woman outdoes or outdoes you in any of this, then she's not going to be keen on following your leadership, because as far as the ideas you come up with, or as far as where you're leading the relationship, or the way she perceives you, she's not going to be looking up to you. She's going to be more insightful, and she's going to have better ideas and better convictions compared to you. And that is going to make her want to assume the role of a leader. And when they do, every time a woman assumes the role of leading a relationship, resentment always kicks in. And that's how you know leadership is not meant for them, it's meant for men, as far as relationships are concerned, especially. Now, the other thing would be finances. This just goes without saying. As a man, burden of performance is always upon us. So we are expected to be the providers and the protectors. And each of these aspects require some amount of financial security and stability. So that being said, before you get into a relationship, make sure you've secured both of these. Okay? Stability and some degree of, protection against, or some form of security, financial security. Now, the other thing I would say would be sexual energy. I mean, as a man, you need to be more experienced sexually and better at it, and you also need to have a bigger sex drive compared to your woman. Why? Because it's, if you don't, or if you're not, if she outdoes you in any of these things, chances are she's not going to be satisfied with the performance you're going to put out. And what this does is it also creates that room for resentment as far as dissatisfaction is concerned, because it's dissatisfaction today, tomorrow, and as far as she's concerned, she's bearing with you instead of enjoying being with you. And I know that's a big burden to bear, but it's upon the men most of the time. So if your woman tends to not enjoy sex with you as a result of your poor performance, it's upon you to up your sexual health game and to up your sex game as well. But it's most likely going to be poor performance due to health factors, so you need to fix that, and then you also need to up your game sexually. These three things are extremely important. It's extremely important that you become extremely good at them. Wisdom and intelligence as far as leading is concerned, financial stability, you also need to secure the sex life of that woman, and also generally also need to be the one who loves her, because if you don't love her, then she has nothing to submit to. Women submit to the love of a man. What happens is, when you love her the right way, she submits to you. When you don't love her the right way, she doesn't submit. And men love by actions. So if there's not going to be those actions, it's just words and words and words, well, words can only go so far. So you get what I'm saying. So the love needs to be top notch, sex game needs to be top notch, finances need to be top notch, and the wisdom needs to be top notch. That being said, you'll have secured at least the key most important facets required to run a relationship smoothly. The other things would be matters of restraint, like, principles grounded in things like loyalty, respect, and stuff like that. But as far as the dynamic of how you're going to be treating each other on a day-to-day basis, those four are the most important, and they are going to make the others, like respect and loyalty, even easier to achieve. So, that being said, see you in the next one.